Hey everyone, Jeremy Parker here for a quick video on how I made a song in a style of music I hadn't heard before called Skwee, using my Arturia Polybrute, Moog Minitaur, and miniKORG 700 FS. Recently, my good friend and fellow musician Big Ben Hillman sent me a playlist of Skwee music. Yes, I fixed up his Roland SH-1000 a few years ago, as some of my viewers might remember. Anyway, I really enjoyed this so-called Skwee music, originating in Sweden and Finland in the late 2000s, named as such by squeezing out as much character as possible from analog synthesizers in a stripped-down, funky musical style. I'll link that playlist in the description. So, although I don't yet consider myself a Skwee connoisseur, I can at least say my song is inspired by the genre. The sound design seems to be so much an integral part of Skwee. So here's a quick rundown of my sounds, most of which I had made previously on the Polybrute. The first sound, Wanna Be Funky, is the first synth sound you'll hear, and it has a distinctive snappy filter attack with expression pedal modulation of the filters and pulse width, as well as a very fast vibrato triggered by aftertouch. So this is effective for funky comping rhythms. For any of these Polybrute sounds, feel free to pause the video and screenshot the Polybrute Connect panel to recreate them on your own. The next synth sound you'll hear is the bass line, which is from the Moog Minitaur preset number 2, Shaka Bass from SynthCloud's Funky Basses sound library. If you have the Minitaur or Sirin, I think this collection is well worth the price. Link in the description. I recorded the MIDI for all the bass parts, then played back that MIDI and recorded the audio while moving the filter cutoff frequency in real time. So it would sound kind of like this. The next sound is something I call SH Insane, which is inspired by the Roland SH-101 monosynth and has various crazy modulations going on. Aside from aftertouch modulating the filter cutoff, the ribbon increases the delay time and delay mix in one direction and increases delay feedback and delay mix in the other. So it sounds like this. I would play random things and snip out the interesting parts to make squiggly synth hits, and in one section of the song, I made an ominous drone while manipulating the ribbon. The main melody of the song is done with a funny sound called SID 64, which was supposed to recreate the vibe of the SID chip on the Commodore 64. Since Skwee sometimes incorporates chiptune sounds, I thought this was appropriate. Again, the ribbon is used to perform dramatic pitch bends like this. So it gets kind of silly in the song, as you'll hear. For this next sound, called Yai, it is used only for a single note in the first breakdown, and it's pretty cool that I was able to get this to work on the Polybrute. I have to give a shout out to Alex Ball for his excellent tutorial on how to make this type of sound on many different synths and the theory behind it. Again, link in the description. Once we get to the bridge, another Polybrute synth sound comes in called Big Synth, which is just a big fat analog synth sound with lots of character. This is actually the main sound I used on my song City Strut, which I'll also link to, and I really like this patch. Then for some contrast with all the spectrally rich synth textures, I used one of my soft flute-like leads from the miniKORG 700 FS for the bridge melody, with the spring reverb in full effect. Finally, for my drum sounds, I used Addictive Drums 2 with mostly an 808 kit, with some Linn drum sounds as well. Everything is put together in my favorite DAW, Reaper. And now I'll play you the song and scroll around Reaper while it plays back so you get an idea of how it was all put together. So I hope you enjoy my Skwee, and I'll see you in the next one.
Wow.